The previous 2 Zwift races I had done, I did something the day before which affected that Zwift race. Due to timing constraints, I also did something the day before, squats and deadlifts, and I went heavier. In this race, however, the outcome was a little bit different. Hey, cycling community, this is Steve Grusis, the Cycling Greek. Now, I say I went heavy because in the previous 2 weeks, I did a lot of reps with lighter weight, reason being that it was the end of a training block, and then the next week I had a 3-day training block on the bike that I didn't want to interfere with too much. There was enough time when I came home from work to get on the bike and get a good warm-up. And for me, a good warm-up is very important because I'm an old guy, and at 69, I'm probably the oldest guy in this race. There are some strong riders in this pack, and they were pushing it when we took off from the line. About 4 or 5 of them just kept going, and then the rest of us were just chasing. I was trying to prevent a gap from happening in front of me. So now we're on a climb, and I'm kind of getting my breath back. The most important thing for me in this race is to watch my cadence. If I stay in too low a cadence, where that means I'm using my muscles too much, then I really start to feel those squats and deadlifts I did yesterday. And then I have to go to then a lighter gear, spin more. But I have to be careful about that because if I spin too fast for too long, then I'll start to redline, and then I have to switch back to doing a lower gear. So I'm kind of going back and forth, riding that fine line between aerobic and anaerobic death. The second most important thing I have to do is be on people's wheels. And sometimes that's a challenge because I don't have any type of steering mechanism. I have to use the program's algorithm. So that means if I ever go to the side and I'm exposed, then I have to slow down a bit to get to the back of the pack, and then the algorithm will kind of move me into the middle, then I can move up again. Let's talk about the details of this race. This is the Driveway Wednesday Night Crit Worlds. I'm guessing this is a long-standing series because they're using the old numbering system for the categories. So this is category C. There are 23 starters, so that means to meet my goal of 50% getting into the top 50, I have to get 11th place or better. Jumping ahead a bit to what I consider the main climb in this race. This is a pretty flat race, by the way. You'll notice that my picture is gone because my camera went out. So you won't have the benefit of watching me do some ugly face. Now, you may have noticed if you were looking ahead on the video, or you can check out the little map insert in the upper right-hand corner. There's somebody that's getting away. And I'm thinking, okay, this guy's got to be pretty good because this is about the first of 5 laps. And this being I think a little over 12-mile race, and we have 11 and a half to go. He's got some confidence. Now, probably what he's doing is that he's hoping to draw 1 or 2 riders out so they can share the workload. Right now, people are thinking probably the same thing I am. This is way too early in the race. We'll just keep him at bay and just let him burn out. You now may have noticed that there is another rider that's jumping out to connect with that first rider. I'm thinking a couple things right now. 1, I don't have the legs to be able to do that. And 2, if the pack gets nervous and starts chasing, that can put me in a world of hurt. I just don't know how my legs will do because of yesterday's leg weight workout. It is now just after the start of the third of 5 laps. We are nearing the top of that main climb, and another rider is broken away. So we have 2 up the road, probably somewhere between 10 and 15 seconds away, and the rider that just attacked is about 3 seconds ahead of us. By the way, the 2 up the road are 25-year-old John Opfer and 28-year-old Taggart Van Etten, both of the United States. I keep doing what I talked about earlier. I'm trying to hang on somebody's wheels so I don't have any gaps created and then have to put out a lot of extra energy. I have now jumped to close to the end of the penultimate lap, about to start the last lap. John and Taggart, the original 2 that broke away on the first lap, they're out of sight. That rider that broke away around the 3rd lap, I think it was, he now has about a 5-second lead. Our pack now holds 4th through 14th. I'm still managing my legs, and occasionally I look at the graphics on the right-hand side to see that we have a couple riders in back of us by about 18 to 20 seconds. Well, as I said, I'm managing my legs. My legs can go at any moment. And I'm looking at the graphics on the right-hand side and see that there are a couple of riders behind us by about 24, 25 seconds now. So they're dropping back. I've lost contact. I'm doing what I can because if I get dropped here, those people that are in back of me, they're going to catch me. I'm pretty confident. It's 1.5 miles to go. I need to hang on to these 2, and I'd love to be able to jump up to that group in front of us, and I'm hoping that these guys are going to drag me there. I am so on the edge. Unless these guys can drag me up to the others, the best placing I can get is 12th. and that's at the top of the second half, and I need to be in the first half. It's now 1 mile to go, and those guys are 2 seconds ahead of us, and the next rider is about 15 seconds in back of me. We are now in a climbing section. I'm attempting to jump away from those behind me so I can get up to those ahead of me. Every so often, I gotta back off a couple pedal strokes so I don't blow. I finally make the connection, but I'm barely hanging on, I tell you. I need to use everything at my disposal, and I activate my drafting boost. If I can stay connected to the line, maybe I can pass 1 or 2 riders and get that 11th place. With 0.3 miles to go, I am in 12th place. If my battery hadn't run out, you'd be seeing a lot of ugly face right now. Right about here, my legs pretty much died out. There's the finish. No one's going to catch me. I get 12th, not 11th, but this was a much better race than I had the last couple times. I hope you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it. As always, remember, comment, like, subscribe. The Cycling Greek.